Worrying about you be like wondering if the sun gonna come up. Ain't about to wild out over it.
Turns out that I was wrong. Half wrong. I said that Chitterelli was going to win, but I also said that nothing was going to change. So, yeah, I was half wrong and half right. Chitterelli was not a great candidate by any stretch of the imagination. He wasn't actually conservative. He really did have this air of elitism about himself. And it's a big part of the reason why I wasn't sitting there, ringing the bell for the man. Is just the pattern that New Jersey had taken for the past, like almost 30 years has been 8 years with a Republican, 8 years with a Democrat, 8 years with a Republican, 8 years with a Democrat. That's what I was basing my whole prediction off of. So with it not coming to fruition this time, I mean, I'm left to kind of ponder exactly as to how and why. And something that I really want you guys to kind of key in on is how there are less than 1 million votes counted in a state that has 6 million registered voters with, and as you can see on the top right hand side of the corner right there, with 26% of the votes counted, which is less than half. Less than half of the votes counted, she's projected winner. Look, I'm not one of those stop the steal type people. I'm not gonna be, oh my God, how could this happen or anything else like that? Like, no, because I'm not emotionally invested in any of this. As far as I'm concerned, nothing changes. I was right, to that extent. Where the only difference being is that we're not gonna get faux conservatism, which is what Jack Ciattarelli represented. I mean, with him sitting there bringing on the likes of Scott Pressler and TPUSA and the MAGA crowd and making the whole election about her military history and all these other things. I mean, guys, he wasn't a good candidate in the first place. And with that being said, those folks on his side who were just oh so hyped for him, they're all at Bridgewater Marriott right now, which is amazing to me because I used to work there. And like they're all like crushed. And honestly, I'm glad to see it because you guys were dicks and assholes. I mean, no different than the Democrats. Anybody who's sitting there wrapping their identity and wrapping their hopes in the future around any politician or political party is a fool. Okay? I made a call which I based off of rock solid logic. Hey, it failed me this time, but there were quite a few things that I didn't take into account. Well, I took into account, I just thought that due to the fact that we had that pattern, as well as he really did have the state establishment with him. I failed to fully calculate the grip that the Obama global homo wing of the Democratic Party really locked in here in the state of New Jersey with Phil Murphy and in the state committees and all the different political committees. We're also a sanctuary state. There's no voter ID. And vote by mail, which is something I've been complaining about since they really kicked it into overdrive with the pandemic. I mean, shoot, man. So, honestly, it was pretty foolish of me to even really think that he was going to take it. But because this is a deep blue state, and it's a deep blue state because we have just an overabundance of bureaucrats and sycophants, and the campaign industry here is just so huge. And when someone's paycheck demands that they vote a certain way, well, you're never going to get them to vote in the opposite direction. And it also doesn't help that we don't have a Republican Party here in New Jersey. We really don't. We just have Democrats that wear red. Ciattarelli was one of them. He's one of those folks that voted for, gender bathrooms and gender IDs and all this other fun stuff. And I'll be the lone voice sitting here saying how it's evil, it's not good. And to those, particularly those in the ministry, those who claim to speak for God, like speak or claim to have this deep connection with God, then the fact that you're sitting there rocking with this woman who is, and I don't care about women in men's sports. I want to get women out of men's sports, but it's okay. It really pushes the the gay indoctrination in the classrooms. The AG who was suing parents for getting their for wanting to pull their children out of the classroom, out of classrooms that are teaching gay stuff. No, I mean, like you got some praying to do. You got to talk to God. I'm good because honestly, I kind of sat this one out, like for real. Like I really contemplated going to vote, but I've been in New York for the past couple of weeks, actually past month, working on the Mamdani campaign. That's where I've been. And due to the fact that I work for a consulting firm, I didn't want to throw anything up here on the channel or throw anything on social media because they are like super weird about that now. Like we no longer live in 2014, 2015. So they're really weird about it. So I just, I kept it quiet. This is the only time that I'm actually going to mention it because look at all the good that did. Okay. Deal is that I mean we are kind of boned. No matter which way this was going to play out, it was always going to play out the exact same way. Those in power stay in power, the elites remain elite, and the rest of us down here, well, they'll bleed us dry. They'll continue to keep their hand in our pocket and keep jiggling it around. That is like the one thing that I think would have been the difference between Chitterelli and Cheryl, is a pullback on a lot of the regulations and like maybe a few policies that could at least superficially get the cost, some cost of living down. But I mean, shoot, it's like the first hour of Viagra pill. Once it's up, it ain't going down. Okay. So that was just wishful thinking on my part. But as men, what we do is we own when we get things wrong. It's super important to do that, as well as recognize that these people, no matter who they are, they're not your leaders. They're representatives. They're supposed to represent us, and neither one of them do, which is why this is no big loss any way you chalk it. All right. So, guys, with that being said, I would love your opinion on this. Me personally, I'm not one of those stop the steal type people. Deal is that if the Republican Party actually wanted to stop the shenanigans that the Democratic Party puts on, they would have been in courts. They would have been fighting it all the way, but they don't. Why? Because guess what? They're fine. They're getting paid too. I sit there and follow quite a few Jersey Republicans on X. And the deal is that they'll sit there and they'll say all these things. They'll be like, "Oh yeah, we care about conservative values and all these other things," but or we care about the issue with the elections and all this other fun stuff. And still, like at the end of the day, you're not bringing forward lawsuits. You're not challenging these things in court. And by the time it's challenged, and even if you do or were to put forward challenges, right, it's like years until these things are hashed out, and unfortunately that's not the way our system works. So guys, let me know what you think in the comments. I don't believe in the validity, like just true pure democratic validity of almost any of these elections anymore, and that's because I've seen a lot of this firsthand, and the powers that who have overtaken and overwritten a lot of state powers, which is something that we saw in 2017 with Phil Murphy and how he kind of muscled his way into the Democratic primaries and then turned around and flooded the state with a whole bunch of different operatives and people who whose sole purpose in life was to lead us to this very moment. So, to the state establishment, the Kings, the Beasleys, like all the different long-standing state people, this is something that you brought upon yourselves. Just so we're clear, like all that money that you sat there and wasted in this, man, it's due to the fact that You know, you allow this to, you rolled out the red carpet for the greater of the two evils. And guess what? The greater of the two evils ain't about to let it go without a fight. But you may disagree, and that's what my comment section's for. Until the next one.